Hello, hello, hello. The Las Vegas Summer League is all done for the Orlando Magic. Let's talk about games 4 and 5 and put a big bow and recap the whole entire Summer League experience for the rest of the guys and who stood out. This is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source for all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Orlando Magic fans, by an Orlando Magic fan. I just want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. Click subscribe so you can join the Orlando Magic Nation and not miss out on any content that I produce. And while you're around here, just click the like button because it really helps the video be seen by a lot of other people. And last, this doesn't have to be a one-way thing. Please put in the comment who you thought did best in Summer League. What did you think about Game 5 or Game 4 or pretty much anything you wanted to talk about? So let's get started. The news and notes. We're going to start with the notes just in general. Games 4 into Games 5 were kind of a slog for a bit of the time there. So if we focus on Game 4, Noah played, so that was a good showcase for him. He had 17 points. He pretty much was very efficient. I believe 7 of 9. So he was very active. And like I talked about before, for me, what I'm looking for in a player is to make sure that he's putting his imprint on the game. And Noah definitely did so. Now the Magic fell behind by a significant amount to Brooklyn. They were down, I think, 22 or so at some point, but they rallied all the way, showing that Orlando Magic fight. They rallied all the way through to come back and make it a game at the end. There was a couple breakdowns late in that game, which is why the rookie, well, one of the rookies from the Nets, their number 8 pick, his name is escaping me now, but he had a couple threes at the end of the game, so that's how they were able to seal it. So, but from a Magic perspective, I think Noah, the way he controlled the game offensively and defensively, it really showed that he does have a good level of experience already by playing over in the French league. He has the ball handling. Obviously, there's going to be some errant passes here and there. He is young. The best part of it, though, was him really taking ownership of the team and him being the guy on there. So I would say that was the biggest takeaway of Game 4. Other than that, Wendell Moore Jr. Did pretty well. And then the few other folk that will show the box score a little later on. But for me, the biggest information from that game was Noah playing well, as well as the fight that the team had to come back with Jalen Krucher just coming out and launching threes. He was pretty hot there in the fourth quarter. We scored 39 points in the fourth when we had only scored 41, I believe, in the whole first half. So it shows what can happen when you hit your shots, and if only we could hit our shots a bit more consistently. Game 5 was an early game. We were playing Dallas, I believe. Yes, we were playing Dallas, and it was really a slog. Like that one was probably the hardest of all the games to watch. No one really had a good rhythm for the most part on the team. Defensively, there was always care, so that's I'm never going to disparage anybody's effort level, but it was not where it needed to be able to contend in the game. It was a blowout pretty much from the beginning. That's what it felt like, at least energy wise, and ultimately they scored 69 points total. Not what you need even in a 40-minute game. It's not what you're going to need to win the game unless your defense is outstanding. So that game, Wendell Moore Jr. again was the kind of the catalyst for that game. Of all the people, I would say in those last two games, he very much was. His imprint was much more onto the games than any other person other than Noah in Game 4. Ethan Thompson struggled a bit in a lot of these games. So again, we'll go over the box score, but the big takeaway from Game 5 was just the blah that was the offense. The last game of the summer league. So a lot of the guys really at that point either knew they had played well enough to hopefully be able to get onto a roster, or they were just playing out the string and they're moving forward. So a few guys were able to get more opportunity in games five specifically. In game five, Fremantle was able to get on the court a bit more. So I think it was cool for him to be able to showcase a little bit of his 3 point shot that he has in his arsenal. So I think that ultimately that was the best thing of a really poor game in general, was that other guys were able to showcase themselves a little bit more, so that they're able to not only just have their names or had a jersey in the summer league, but they were able to actually contribute at least in a small part in that last game. So games 4 and 5, not so much to take from, other than again Noah playing pretty well. And if we were to offer Wendell Moore Jr. The 2-way contract, this would have been his. This was because of these last two games. Standout. So here's the information, or here are the box scores or the standouts for games 4 and game 5. Like I mentioned, Noah, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 for 11 from the field, 2 from 4 from 3, and dead even on the plus minus. Wendell Moore Jr., 17, 6 and 0, 5 for 11 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, -4. So again, the plus minus, if you're new, the plus minus isn't really indicative of what that person did necessarily. It was what they were, or when they were on the court, what happened ultimately as for the entire team. It wasn't like when the guy Wendell Moore was guarding scored 4 points more than him during his time on the court. So that's just something to think about. Jalen Kutcher at 14 points. As I mentioned, he kind of started flame throwing there in the fourth quarter. 14 points, three rebounds, 3 assists, 5 for 10 from the field, 4 of 9 from three. A lot of those happening in the fourth quarter. A +4 plus minus. Aldez Williams, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 11 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3 point land, -4. A lot of these plus minuses are going to look better than what they were, because again, the team was down in game 4 by like 22 or so. They were pretty much down the entire game until they made the furious comeback in the fourth quarter. And Jaden Atkins with 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from three, with a -8 plus minus. So he, in the last couple of games, he would have been the other person. So Wendell Moore Jr. and Jaden Atkins, I would say, would be the two guys that really put their imprint. I would say mostly due to their athleticism. They were able to get downhill a lot of the times. Jaden's shot is not where I guess it needs to be, in his point of view. Again, he banked in a three at one point in game 3, and it just isn't where he needs to. But he was able to get to the rim with his explosiveness and be able to get there. So it was good to see. Hopefully he's able to shore up his shot a bit, and then there's definitely a place in the NBA for a guy like that. And then in the last game, Wendell Moore would, so this is game 5. Wendell Moore Jr., 14 points, 8 rebounds, 0 assists. I'm going to have you focus on the assist column here in this one. So 0 assists for him. 5 for 11 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. So again, that's the biggest knock on Wendell. -15 plus minus. Jaden Akins, again, 11 points. So he was the most forceful of the other person and put his imprint on the game. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 5 of 14 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, -1 plus minus. Here we go. Zach Fremantle with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists. 0 assists, 3 for 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, -3 plus minus. Ethan Thompson, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 3 of 9 from the field, and 2 of 6 from 3, with a -27. That's not a typo. It's a -27 plus minus. So things didn't go well for him when he was on the court. And Kyler Kelly was rounding out the guys. We only had three guys in double figures, as you see. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 3 of 4 from the field, and then he doesn't shoot threes, with a -5. So as you can tell by these are the best performers, 0 assists from all 5 of them. So the Magic only had a total of 12 assists in the 5th game. So again, you're not going to win very much if you're not sharing the ball, if you're not shooting well, and no one was shooting well, let alone having the assists. So it felt very much that way, very disjointed, a lot of one-on-one play. So that's why you only score 69 points in a game. So then the rest of the guys, again, we're trying not to put the worst stats on here, but in game four, Zach Fremantle, to go back to game four, Zach Fremantle, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 of 7 from the field. Didn't shoot a three in that game with a plus minus of +9. So he really earned his minutes for the next game in Game 5 by putting in a pretty good effort in Game 4. Ethan Thompson, 8 points, 0 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 of 11 from the field, 1 of 7 from the three, -1. And Scal Lebessier with 6 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. 0 rebounds from your center. Again, not really going to cut it very often. 2 of 4 from the field, 0 from 1 from three, with a plus minus of +1. And then go back to game five. The others, as you see, not a lot going on. Nate Santos, 5 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 1 from three, -13 plus minus. Sky Lebissier, 2 points, 5 rebounds. At least we got rebounds in this game. 0 assists. 1 of 4 from the field, 0 of 1 from three, -15. Alondez Williams gets his name on the board. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 of 9 from the field. His only field goal was a three, 1 of 6 from three, -14 plus minus. And lastly, Jalen Krucher. So the roller coaster that was Jalen for this summer league: 0 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. At least he led the team with 5 assists. Zero of 7 from the field, 0 of 3 from three, with a -22 plus minus. So as you see, game five was definitely something to not write home to in the end. So now if we're gonna summarize and recap the whole summer league for the Magic, if we put their top 7 or so players from the summer league, I would say these are the 5 that I'd like to focus on, or the 7 that I would like to focus on. Tristan Thompson, he played 2 games, which is what normally happens with second league or second year guys. They normally will end up playing 2 games, maybe 3. It really just depends on where the status is with the team. He's definitely entrenched in the team, so they didn't need to have him out there very long. But he stayed with the rest of the team, being there on the bench with the team, so that they're not so that he doesn't just leave them or anything like that. He was there for the team, so that was a good showing as well. So Tristan da Silva, he averaged in his 2 games 18.5 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. The field goal percentage was very good, 14 of 28, 50%. His 3-point percentage is what we need to focus on. The Magic are going to be a better offensive team this year. There's really no way for them to be any worse in general. But if he can shoot from three better than 33%, if he can be closer to his college numbers, I think the Magic are going to do very, very well in the season, because they just need extra shooters. He's going to be coming off the bench likely, unless due to injury he needs to start again. With that, hopefully, if he gets back to 38%, that's going to be a huge boost to the bench scoring, because as we look at the who's going to come off the bench and who's going to play, likely when Mo's back, he's going to be playing. Obviously, if Tyus is the one coming off the bench, Tyus is more of a facilitator. That's not what he does. So we definitely need another scorer from the bench. And if Tristan can shoot 38% from three, that's going to help out immensely. Uh, then obviously we already knew who Tristan was. We knew what he was. We're hoping for a bigger role from him in the summer league, and that's why he goes, but also for the main team. Now for Jace and for Noah, the 2 rookies, it was kind of a show me period, in that it's good for them to be challenged a bit. It's their first time being near the NBA system. This is technically their first NBA minutes. It's a good thing that they were a bit challenged. Now, Jace was efficient. Jace in his 2 games, he was also dealing with an ankle injury, so that's why they kept him out of the last 3. But in his 2 games, 16.5 points, 1 rebound, 2.3 assists, 10 of 18 from the field, shooting 56% if you round up, and 50% from three. Didn't have too many shots, But I think I think for him, the biggest role that he's looking for, or if he comes off the bench, well, he's definitely going to come off the bench, but it's a matter of, is he going to get a lot of minutes? Is he going to be the two guard that comes off the bench? Is he going to play more of the point? We don't really know. He says his natural position is the point. So hopefully he's able to then do the distributing so he doesn't have to shoot as much. But if he's going to be a shoot first point guard, like Cole Anthony, let's say, if he really is going to take in the Cole Anthony minutes, 3 of 6 from three, that is always going to look good. What we really want is an efficient scorer as best as possible. And I think that's what was lacking a bit last year off the bench. That's why Mo was so important. And once he went down, we had no punch off the bench. And Jace had a plus minus of plus 14. Noah played 3 games. So in his 3 games, he averaged 11.3 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 3 assists. He shot 15 of 26 from the field, about 58%, 3 of 10 from three at 30%, and a plus minus of plus 23. Noah, as I mentioned in the last couple of videos, I was more surprised at how on ball he was, which is great to see. The more ball handlers you can have, it's going to help out. It's going to help open up the offense. So 3 of 10 from three is not great. 10 shots is it's not bad. So again, you have to be a willing shooter, because that if you don't shoot, then people are definitely going to sag off of you. So you need to be able to shoot. Obviously, how crazy such small sample sizes are. If he would have hit one more three, then it would have been like, whoa, he's going, he's a sharpshooter. But instead, he only hit 3 of 10 instead of 4 of 10. So the idea is eventually, if he's going to take up for Jonathan Isaac's role on the team, we're going to need better than 30%. That's where we're kind of at with Jonathan at this point. And if Noah is going to be the defender and 3 point shooter, just kind of being in the corner, he that's what he needs to do for the next few months. Just sit in the corner and just catch and shoot, catch and shoot, catch and shoot, so that he can get those reps in. He can get the muscle memory to be able to have a better showing on there. I think I don't really know how the depth chart is going to be in the end. We don't know if they're going to be ones that Noah's going to end up playing for sure. I think there is a place on the team for him, because we need defense. So we're always going to need defense. That's kind of what we hang our hat on. So he's definitely a good defender. So in that way, he can definitely see time on the court. It just all depends on his shot. If he's able to shoot, again, the Magic are going to be better shooters this year. If it's not just Joe Prunty's different offense that he's going to bring in, but hopefully Sham God is able to coach him up. And if not, it's just regression. There's no way the Magic can shoot that poorly again. Knock on wood. There's no way they're going to be able to shoot that poorly again. They haven't. No team had shot that poorly since 2012 or something like that. So the Magic are going to shoot better this year, and hopefully Noah's going to be one of those people. Then the rest of the guys that are either going to be on our G League team or on a team, hopefully somewhere else. Ethan Thompson averaged 10 points, 1.8 rebounds, 1.2 assists, shot only 29% for the 5 games he played, and 31% from three, but a negative 32 plus minus. It felt erratic at times, but maybe that's the pace of the G League. It's a lot more up pace, and it's kind of fly by the seat of your pants in a way. His offense, definitely, he didn't shoot as well as he would have liked. He had 1 or 2 good shooting games, but on the whole, it was a lot of offers or one fers. So it just wasn't where, if he's going to play a lot with the team, that he's likely not going to play much. Let's just say that. We are going to need a lot of our two-way guys, just because since we're going into the season with only 14 guys on roster instead of uh, instead of 15, we're going to need to have these guys in case of injury. So if we're going to look to actually have Ethan as active on the roster at times, it's we're going to need more than this in the end. Wendell Moore Jr. He acquitted himself pretty well in the end. It didn't start off super great, but he ended up averaging over his 5 games 13.8 points, 6.8 rebounds, zero point 0.8 assists, shooting 44% from the field and only 28 or 29% if you round up from the three, a negative 42, a negative 41 plus minus. As I mentioned, he did put an imprint on the game. He did play good defense. There was a game where he had 10 rebounds. So he's played in the NBA. It's not like there's a lot of other guys. There's a lot of other guys in the team that have never played in the NBA. He has played in the NBA, so it really makes like he should have played well, and he did play well in a lot of the other games. So I don't know if it's fool's gold. I don't know. We're going to likely have a center as one of our two ways, a point guard and a wing. Can he be that wing that we need? That would be something like what we had from Trevelyan Queen last year. We're going to need tough defense. He seemed to really take on that mantle of taking on the hard assignments for on the defensive end. So we'll see if that's going to be his role, and we'll see if he ends up getting our two way. Oof, off the top of my head, I don't know if he's eligible. I think he might be going into his fourth year, so he would be eligible. But this is his last year of eligibility for that. So after that, he would either have to go overseas or play in the G League and then come back after. Anyway, of the other two, I was trying to comb through the rest of the guys. Like Jalen Krucher had a huge game. Like I mentioned, Zach Freemantle started to play later on in the game. Uh, Kyler Kelly was our starting center for the first few games, and I looked at his numbers. But these are the two that I took: Aldez Williams and Scal Lebissier. Those are the other of the others. Let's say I have their stats on here because I think they, at least again, were putting an imprint on each one of the games, even if it wasn't always the best imprint. At least they definitely were invested in it. So Aldez, Alendez. I'm butchering this poor guy's name. 6.6 points, 2.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists. He shot 27% from the field and 32% from three with a negative 54. This just kind of shows you in all the Magic lost all five of their summer league games, and some of them weren't close. So this just shows kind of how well the rest of the team played, or how well the rest of the team shot when we have Alendez on here, because it's not great numbers. And lastly, Scala Bissier, he's a guy who's been in the NBA as well, but he's been in and out for the last couple of years. 6.4 points, 2.6 rebounds, 1 assist a game, shot 56% on not as many shots as I think he could have put more of an imprint on the game, especially being one of the two centers on the team. 0 of 5 from three, negative 13 plus minus. Scal's one of those guys. He's definitely not eligible for our summer league, or excuse me, for one of our two ways, just due to his amount of years in the league. So he can either go back to the G League and then or go back overseas, or who knows how he decides on what he decides from it. But he was interviewed, or they interviewed him, and he seemed to really enjoy the experience and didn't really want to justify why he was there, because he is a bit older and it's not something you see very often. But he was I would say, one of our top seven performers overall. Again, he had a great first game, had an okay, I think, fourth game, but the lack of rebounding, the lack of shooting from three, the lack of all of that stuff is going to keep him from likely being our center choice for our two way deal. So so that wraps up the summer league. In the end, we played 5 games. We didn't really perform super well. We got to see what we needed to see out of the big three, from Tristan, from Jace, and from Noah. Those three are the ones that we're going to be focusing on for the off season. I think they did a great job. Especially again, Noah did a really good job being on ball, being the facilitator in that one game that it was just him. Again, he took on that challenge, which is great to see that he has that in him to just not be somebody who will be in the background when things are happening. He'll take a rebound and he'll go on its own. So that was a great thing to see. Jace was able to hold up really well from in the Raptors game, which was game 2. There was a lot of ball pressure, and he, true to form, was the best ball handler there. He was by far our best true guard. So that is something that is very exciting to see. That the summer league, and again, that game had a lot of the Raptors NBA guys on there, so those guys were hungry. Those guys wanted to show something, and Jace did a great job of taking on that challenge and doing the ball handling and shot 1 of 3 from 3 in that game. So he did a great job in that game. So that makes you very excited that the two rookies were able to handle the situation, handle the pressure of their first summer league games, and pass with flying colors. And Tristan, he took on a greater role. I think in the end, I hope in the end he takes from this experience and takes it to the main team, because really there's no reason for him to blend into the background. He has the same skill set as Franz, not to the level obviously as Franz, but he can handle the ball. He has good vision. He's got good athleticism. He just needs that shot. If he shoots 38% as he did last year, if he shoots 38% next year the way he did here in the summer league, then I think that's it's going to be a great addition. He's going to be with the defense and the shooting and the ball handling and the passing. I think that's the sky's the limit for him. Again, he's a little bit older, so he kind of is what he is, but he's always going to develop a little bit. And I think that's it's very exciting when you look forward to next season and what these guys can bring to the main team. The rest of the guys, hope them well. Maybe they might. Maybe Wendell Moore Jr. will be on our 2-way contract, but we don't have to choose. If you didn't know, we don't have to choose any of our summer league guys to be in our 2 ways. We can pick from anyone that isn't signed or that doesn't get signed. We can choose anyone from the summer league to be on our 2-way contract. So again, we have 3. We have one with Ethan Thompson. He's already been signed. He was signed last year, and it was a 2-year deal. So he's coming back. So we have 2 more left. So we'll see what we end up doing with those. And once we have news, I'm going to be on it to report on it, to talk about it with you guys. So again, go down, tell me who you think played the best in the summer league for the Magic. It's a good thing to know what you guys thought. How did Jace do? How did Noah do? How did Tristan do? So feel free to just put a little comment down there so that we can have that, we can continue the conversation. And with that, I just want to say again, thank you very much for clicking on the video, and I hope you're having a great day.